I've been in this like little experiment where I don't defend, I don't explain, I don't beg, like queen energy, fucking queen energy. And I've like felt it in my spine. I've seen it in my painful stripes. I have just felt like a significant shift that I can only imagine what the tsunami of like sexiness is coming after that. Can't imagine yet. Don't want to. I love a good surprise, right?
The world has taught us some of the most fundamentally useless ways of thinking about success that actually go against our biology when it comes to achievement and happiness, success and peace. We are taught to push through pain at any cost, to use pressure to persist, focus on the goal, and do whatever it takes to get there. This is useful if the goal is to not starve to death. But success by any means necessary comes at a remarkable cost to our future self. Our mantra around here is not a penny from pressure, only pleasure. The More Alive podcast exists to lead us into a new way of achieving and replace outdated advice that threaten the dream life that actually makes us feel more alive. I'm your host, Andrea Crowder, mom, truth teller, and lover of daydreaming, here to help create a world where we all feel more alive. Welcome to the show.
Fully full circle. Going back to my dating God episodes from the very beginning. I have been thinking lately that I wanted to go back and read that book, especially after my rant on like my queen energy. And I have been noticing, I have been paying very intentional attention to my body when I say things to people, and noticing that if I say something where all of a sudden my body goes weak, if I feel my energy collapse, if I feel my power collapse. And I feel like I have created the greatest hack of all time, ladies. I mean, this is for guys too, for sure. But I mean, I would love for all partners to like take this hack, run with it, love it, live your life, have orgasms, like all the best of the best. Okay. So the book that I started reading called Inspire His Devotion, literally when I started my dating God experiment, this was just days before I met Keith. And I just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's no way this man would have stepped into my life at the time that he stepped into my life had I not started that experiment, because he wouldn't have tolerated my hardness, so to speak, my like independence. Like he was like, he was set out to find a soft, confident, receptive woman. I had been doing the work, but this book was like fundamentally life-changing for me. So I'm reading this book, and the book says, essentially, like, men are designed to be in total service to our nervous system, because when our body is soft and our body is relaxed, we're receptive to get pregnant. And when we're receptive to get pregnant, we have big babies, many babies to carry on lineage. So at an instinctual level, before language existed, this is like what a caveman would be attracted to. A soft, receptive woman. He would go out, he would hunt, he would bring back the food, he would rub her feet, he would give her orgasms, he would like do all the things, because at an instinctual level, he got that like her relaxed, receptive nervous system would carry on lineage. And I'm like, I love this. Oh my God, a man like rubbing my feet. And then it says, but then she needs to be in total devotion to his leadership. So she needs to like ask permission, this and that. And that's where I was like, this is tyranny. And I'm like, ask for fucking permission. Are you kidding me? I worked too hard to create this life of independence, millions of dollars. I'm a fucking badass, this and that. Hell no. And literally I'm like messaging my friend and I'm like, let's pray for his wife and let's send her a message and be like, just send us a white flag if you want us to come save you. Like all of a sudden I'm like, she's a prisoner. She's being abused, right? Forgetting the first 4 chapters of the book, that he is in total devotion to her nervous system. And so I sat there, and once I had that like reflection, I was like, oh shit, okay. Is this my truth or is this my trauma? And so I started my dating God experiment because I couldn't imagine an actual earthly man that was in total devotion to my nervous system. Couldn't imagine it, never seen it, only seen it in the movies, hear about it, but don't really totally believe it for myself. Don't even totally believe it for other people. I'm like, oh, they have some shit. And not that everybody doesn't have shit, but I'm just like, I think everyone probably feels a little unsafe, a little unseen, a little unheard, right? Truth or trauma, guys, truth or trauma. Obviously, my trauma. So anyways, I go on this dating God experiment because I'm like, only an egoless deity would be in total devotion to my nervous system like that. So I'll just play with dating God. And then I'll see if I can like open myself up to this level of receptivity. I think 13 days later or something like that, Keith walks in my life. So now here we are, 18 months. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's our 18-month anniversary right now. We met on March 7th. 2024. Oh, that's so freaky. Someone do the numerology on that and send it to me. That's so cute. Anyways, so here we are 18 months later, and we've been through a lot together, right? And this man loves me. This man has been primarily totally in total devotion to my nervous system. And as I've mentioned, you know, like over the summer, this has been like our first time where we've actually had genuine conflict and like had difficulty finding resolve and all of that. And so while we have resolved the stuff that has occurred to us, what I have been noticing is I've been needing to like stock more like softness and more safety and more openness. Like I needed to like reopen my heart totally to him. And that was taking a little bit. Like I love this man and my heart is pretty open to him, but it doesn't feel as open to him as I know that it can be, or as I've known it to be. And so on the way home from this trip, I had been gone for 5 days. While I was there, he would like send me a love song, like so sweet. He would like send me text messages, just like in total cherish mode. And like we would talk every night, and he was just like in obsessed cherish mode, as I typically know my man to be. So sweet. And then I tell him, I'm like, hey, so, you know, I land at 10:07 on, you know, Friday. Can you come get me from the airport? And he's like, oh, I can't because I already have plans. And I was like, what do you mean you have plans? Like, what? I've been gone for 5 days. How could you want to do anything but like pick me up from the airport, make out with me, like fuck my soul off the planet? Like what? Huh? So I don't really say anything to him because at this point I'm like, I want him to choose that, not because I'm like, but I always pick you up, or, you know, like I'm always there waiting for you, which is what I wanted to say. Like I wanted to defend myself, but I have been over the last like week or so practicing not explaining myself, not defending myself, just like saying what I need with a period. No explanations. Anytime it would be followed by like a because I felt like I needed to like earn for people to see me, I just wouldn't say it. And I'm like, this has not been working for me. So let me just stop because the true definition of insanity, doing the same shit over and over and over, that's not fucking working, right? So I've been in this like little experiment where I don't defend, I don't explain, I don't beg, like queen energy, fucking queen energy. And I've like felt it in my spine. I've seen it in my painful stripes. Like I have just felt like a significant shift, like a cataclysmic energetic shift that I can only imagine what the tsunami of like sexiness is coming after that Can't imagine yet. Don't want to. I love a good surprise, right? Okay, so I'm like, all right, here's my chance to fucking keep my goddamn crown on. You guys are going to love this. Greatest hack of all time. Swear to God, this is going to be your favorite episode that I have ever given you. Here's what I did. I was really struggling with like how to say what I wanted to say without collapsing my energy in this case, without being like, without making him wrong, without criticizing him, without begging, like, oh, please, baby, like, are you sure? Because that felt disgusting in my body too. I'm like, queens don't beg, girl. No. Queens don't fucking beg. So I go on to Claude AI. This is like a chat GPT. If you guys haven't used it, I just think for stuff like this particular one is better because it can search the internet. It's like a better research tool, I believe, in my personal experience. And I just like, for this type of work, I enjoy it, like researching and using it as a thought partner because, again, like it can search the internet. Like Legendary, I can't search the internet because if it did, then it would mess with its brain too much. So it being a private GPT is why. So I go into Cloud AI and I said, search everything that you can about Zach Roed, which I believe is ZAKROEDDE, if I remember correctly, but you guys can just search the book Inspire His Devotion and you'll see the spelling of it. And I said, okay, search Zach Roed and everything that he teaches on feminine and masculine energy, specifically feminine communication. I'm having a conversation with my boyfriend and I need some help. I want to stay in my feminine energy. So I put in the prompt and it's like here, and then it responds. It's like, here's everything that I know about Zach Roed. And I'm like, perfect. It gets his philosophy. And I say, here's what I'm thinking about saying. If Zach were to give me feedback, what would Zach say? So it goes through and it breaks down what I was going to say. And it's like, you stepped into your masculine, you're leading, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, okay, crap. Tell me how to say this without criticizing my man, staying in my feminine energy. And it gave me like a bunch of different options. I looked at the one where I was like, okay, that actually feels really true in my body. And then I just like edited it. And I'm like, okay, I almost like muscle tested every word so that it was like truly authentic to my heart. And then I would send it to him. And one would think that he would just change his mind right away. I kind of thought he would. I was like, this is going to work with the first text message. I just know it. I was wrong. It did not. But all for good things because the experience in the lesson gave me exactly what I needed to experience what I had to in order to teach this to you next. So when he basically still came back and was like, I love you, it's just I'm still going to do this thing, like my heart was really hurt. And I didn't respond for a while. And I just paused and I asked myself, if everything is happening for me, what would I need to know? And I realized that the ache in my heart actually didn't belong to this experience with my man. And I closed my eyes and I just paused and I just asked. I was like, you know what, let me just check. And I just asked my unconscious mind, what age is this sensation? Instantly, I got the number 4 and I was like, okay, I don't need to know what happened to the number 4. You guys have heard me talk about it a million times. And I used the eye movement exercise to clear that emotion. So I used the eye movement exercise in the airport while waiting for my flight. 2 minutes. And the ache was gone. And I'm like, okay. So I'm breathing into it. And I'm like, now what is it that I know? Now what is it that I want? And I was like, okay, I don't actually need my man to come pick me up from the airport. I would love him to. I want him to, but I don't need him to anymore because that ache isn't driving my truth. The pain isn't driving what felt to be true. Because as I know, when we're in the presence of truth, suffering has already shown itself in the door. Because I was suffering, I knew I wasn't in the presence of truth. So I eliminated the suffering and then I got back to sitting with what do I want? What do I need? Just like putting my hand on my heart, allowing myself to go through many different scenarios in my head, thinking about what it was that I wanted. I won't tell you guys like the whole conversation, but we went through quite a lengthy conversation. Every time I responded, I first put it into Claude AI and I said, give me feedback. What would Zach say about this? And rate my feminine communication. And it was either like, wow, you're holding your posture. This is beautiful. Like, you're expressing your standards, but you're still expressing it softly. You're not manipulating him to try to get him to do what you want. You're holding, like, I was really holding the field for both of our freedom, which I hadn't been able to do previously because my ache was so loud that I just wanted him to say what I wanted him to say. So I didn't have to feel the ache. And then once the ache was gone, I'm like, oh, man, like I stand for freedom, and I like wasn't really wanting him to actually choose what was true and free for him. I wanted him to choose what felt free for me, even though that was holding me in my freedom. So this whole time my man had, like, you guys, someday he'll probably hear this episode, but like he has no idea what I was doing on the other side still to this moment. And like, I think I'm gonna wait a little while to tell him because I just like my little secret right now, my little hack. Actually, that's not true. I probably will tell him because I low-key want him to use Claude too. Anyway, so, but I won't tell him in order to control or try to control the outcome of him choosing to use Claude for that little disclaimer. Because again, that would not be holding my posture, my crown, and my feminine communication. So anyways, we go through this long thing. At the end of it, I just said with love, like, I'm going to go ahead and take an Uber when we get home. I love you. Now, previous to this, 20% into the conversation, I was like, I'm going to the babe cave. I don't want to go home. I don't want to be the girl that's just like sitting there waiting for my man. Like, that doesn't feel like a queen. But again, that still felt, I was like, is this my truth or my drama? That still felt like running. That felt like avoidance. And I'm like, okay, can't do that either, because then I collapse my power. And I promised myself I wouldn't make any decisions. I wouldn't say any words. I wouldn't do any fucking things that collapsed my power. So I was like practicing saying it first, practice seeing myself do it first, noticing how I felt when I had done it. And that was not a power move. Now, at first, when I told Claude that, Claude was like, this can be a move for you of like, if you're doing it from a place of love where like you're going to nurture yourself, because I told him, I'm like, I'm okay with you making that decision because I love you, or not because I love you. I'm okay with you making that decision. I love you. I want you to feel comfortable disappointing me, and I need to take the space to care for my heart to process my disappointment. So I'm not putting my emotions on him. It's not his job to fix that. And I'm also telling him, and I had to say this from truth, like, because otherwise, if I was saying it from like resentment or bitterness, that would have been a power collapse. So many thoughts came to my head that felt like resentment and bitterness. And I was just thinking, I'm like, how many times do we choose that? And for a little while, it almost felt satisfying. I thought it, and I'm like, oh, that would feel good to say. I'll fucking show him what a goddamn queen I am. Oh man, like the thoughts and the rants going through my head was like crazy. So I'm thinking those thoughts and I'm like, okay, Andrea, that's you proving you're a queen, not actually being a queen. So that solution is out also. Because queens don't need to be like, I'll fucking show you. They're just like, I'm going to stand here in my absolute fucking sovereignty. And if you make a choice that, how do I want to say that? I'm going to stand here in my sovereignty, and you can do whatever you want, but I will not collapse my sovereignty for this. That's a true queen. Not like, I'll fucking show you, like most of us are, especially in a breakup or like when we're in a fight with someone. At no point in time did this feel like a fight. It was just like, oh God, I hurt, right? But it was like, because I was able to stay in my feminine energy, once I cleared the ache, that was the only emotion that felt taxing to my body. And I was thinking, how many times have I chosen paths and scenarios that had a body tax? That was just like stored resentment, remembered pain. And I'm just like, I'll show you, right? And like that bitterness, that resentment comes out of a physical body tax to me. And I'm like, I love my man, but I don't love him that much. I don't love him that much and it's not even really love if you're like treating him that way anyway, where you're just like, I'll show you, right? Like that's not love, that's pain. That's trauma. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go to the babe cave. I'm not going to run. But what's the scenario in which I can move through this? So like we kept having our conversation. I kept checking what I was saying. I didn't collapse my power. By the end of it, he was like, oh, mate, I might be able to come get you now. And I said, I just want to let you know that like maybe it doesn't feel solid in my nervous system. And so I'm going to go ahead and get myself home. I love you. And none of it was like, I'm showing you, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. It was just my truth of like, I'm not available for maybe, I'm available for a choice. It didn't need to be chosen. I'm available for a choice. I'm available for my man to stand in his power and make a choice, because really that's what I wanted from him. I wanted leadership even if I didn't like it, because I trust it. My nervous system wanted trust. And by the end of it, all of it, he was just like, okay. And then he came back and he's like, and I love you too. And we had this like sweet exchange of like, I love you so much. You matter so much to me. And I was like, okay, great. So I'm going to land, I'm going to go home, and I'll see him when he gets home. You guys know what happened. I landed. I kind of knew it. I felt it as I was landing. I'm like, he's here. I feel him. And I opened my little location app and I was like, 6-minute walk away. I'm like, he's waiting for me. Of course he's waiting for me. Because he's a goddamn fucking king. And he wouldn't have if I collapsed into bitterness, because he would have been at like a soul level showing me, you are not being a queen right now and I will not reward this fucking behavior. I'm so grateful he pushed back on me. I'm so grateful he didn't give me what I wanted. I'm so grateful for this experience, because at the end of it, I was like messaging one of my friends and I'm like, I'm so proud of myself. I'm so fucking proud of myself. Not 1 second of that did I collapse for pain. Did I collapse for the story? Did I collapse to go backward? Not 1 fucking second of it did I. So he picks me up and I feel it. I'm like, our energy is clean. Even though he maybe felt challenged, he didn't feel criticized, because I did challenge him when I said like, I'm unavailable for like, I didn't say it that way, but my energy said I'm unavailable for wishy-washy decisions. So I'm just going to go home, right? Like, and when I challenge him with the posture of a loving queen, oh, my whole body just lit up. A king will rise. A king will rise. And if he doesn't, we know he's not a king. Great. Hate to say that, but truth is truth. So we get home. There's no sticky energy between us. We're very loving. Like previous, we would have both put like our heart walls up, and I was like, oh, like I feel hurt. I feel not seen, heard, and understood. I didn't feel cherished, blah, blah, blah. And I realized all the times that I'm like, oh, I don't feel cherished. Like that ache wasn't his. He was just giving me the perfect conditions to show me that like I had something old in my heart to heal. And when my friend passed of cardiac arrest, I'm just like, God, every woman in this world needs to heal their heart. And I'm just like, I want my heart to be as strong as possible. Like the rates for cardiac arrest for women are crazy, because we hold so much bitterness, so much resentment, so much like believing that we're not being seen. And the truth is that we haven't paused to see ourselves. And the world is just reflecting that back. Not because it doesn't want to put us on the throne. It does. The field wants to throne you. The field has you throned. I don't even know if that's how you can even use the word, but like, you guys know what I mean. The field wants to bring everything to you that a queen wants, prays for, and desires. Your body is encoded with an inheritance that is beyond imagination. And the only reason that inheritance might be seeking you slowly is because we haven't kept our crown on, our real crown, not the one that's like stomping and saying, I'll fucking show you. The real one, the one that just says nothing and just watches the world and says, I won't bend to you. I won't suffer for you. I choose me. I rise. And the world will rise to you. Your inheritance will seek you faster than you can fucking possibly imagine. The world is coded perfectly for it. Perfectly for it. I got home, we saw Dana, my future stepdaughter, spent some time with her, went upstairs, had sex. I saw God. It was the most cataclysmic orgasm I've had ever. Like, ever. Full body, like, minutes after minutes, like, and I know that there's like more to me even available in this life. I've heard a woman saying like, I've had 2-hour orgasms. Like, I have ambitions now. But like, absolutely spiritual and unearthly amazing orgasms. And then again this morning. So any other time, I would have come home and I would have felt bad and I would have been like, my man didn't choose me. And the only reason he didn't ever in the past is because I didn't. The world will choose you when you choose to stand. God, that felt so good to say. I love you guys.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of More Live. But you already know the conversation doesn't end here. In fact, if you check the show notes, you will see that there's a link where you can essentially like leave us a voicemail. You can comment on today's episode, tell us what was your mic drop moment, and you can also ask questions. Your audio might be featured on a future More Live episode. So also, if something in today's episode really hit home with you, share it. Think about somebody who might need to hear that. And you guys already know, I love chatting with you guys in the DMs. So come over to Instagram, slide into my DMs, and tell me what hit hardest today. I want to hear from you. And if you want to keep this energy going, you already know, let's make this official. Subscribe, leave a review, and let's turn this shit into a movement, because you know, the more live you feel, the more live the world becomes.
Speaking of another good product that we did love and that helps you feel good about using is our friend Farrell Moore and her beautiful little energy sprays.
Okay, these sprays smell so delicious. And I was connected through Farrell because my friend Tracy hires her to actually come on site at her events, and Farrell does energy work for her. So she will literally follow her around and like clear her energy. She'll clear the energy of the people in the room. And she's like, you just need to know her. She makes a great product. And I was looking for someone to like keep the energetics of the room really high and clean. And so not only did Farrell support us by putting in her beautiful, beautiful cleansing spray, but she also supported us by being in the room, and she was doing energy
energy work on everyone. I'm keeping my energy clear, keeping their energy clear. In fact, just before everybody showed up, Keith was late and he was supposed to be helping put together like the step and repeat or the photo backdrop, if you don't know what that is. And I was like freaking out because I'm like, this is not my zone of genius. I don't want to be doing this right now. I want to be like getting in the zone and prepping for my event. And Farrell saw me like stressed and she's like, sit down. And she just literally cleared my energy right away in just a few minutes. And instantly I felt better. And I was like, okay, I knew that you would be great because Tracy only works with like superior, like very top talent people, especially when it comes to energetics. But I was just like, wow, I'm really fucking impressed by you. Farrell is just one of those people who deeply, deeply cares about supporting, especially female entrepreneurs who are leading movements and keeping their energy clean, super connected, calibrated, and high. It's just like, especially if you have an event and want to have someone on site to just like make sure you're calibrated the whole time. That was like such a power move. Like that was one of those luxuries that you wouldn't ever think to like put on your list for an event that now that I've done it, I can't live without her.
She was such a sweetie. Her spray feels exactly as her presence of like, oh my God, this feels good. Like this feels like I can recenter myself. And it's so good. I love her. She like really actually got her hands dirty. She came to work, but then also was helping out, was setting us up. And I was like, you're so sweet. And it was so magical to watch her work as she's like behind people, next to people, supporting them. And it's literally like watching someone perform magic. It's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she'd just go behind people's chairs if they were like crying or moving through some big stuff while I was working with them. And she would just clear their energy and support the work that I was doing with them. So it was cool to watch her in motion. I think a lot of people didn't even realize she was right behind them assisting them.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cute.